Hey, awesome person, and thank you for asking for the information about the upcoming Just Hit Record podcast training being hosted by myself, Ryan Montis, and my podcast co-host, Alanna Banks. Okay, so it's coming up next Thursday, and it's gonna start at 10 a.m. Eastern time. I'm just looking at my calendar to make sure I'm giving you the absolute most correct information. And so basically, for those of you that aren't aware, Alanna and I started our own podcast over a year ago. Okay, and we're just about to hit our 100th episode. And so when we were starting our podcast, we really wanted it to do a couple of things. We wanted it to not take up a lot of time out of our schedule. We wanted it to not be hard or frustrating, and we wanted it to be worth it, right? And we wanted our podcast to do things like draw clients to us, boost our credibility, boost our personal brands. And our podcast has both met and exceeded our expectations for what it's done for us, what it's done to help us connect with people, and particularly how that can be achieved with the minimum effort and minimum frustration. So there's a lot of information out there about starting a podcast. And, it's my opinion, and I think Alanna and no, Alanna would agree that a lot of people are working way too hard, going about it in a way that requires so much more work than is necessary. Okay. So the Just Hit Record training, and it is a training, is designed to show you exactly how we did it with minimum effort using the most efficient, inexpensive tools and processes possible. You know, we have fun when we make our podcast. It's not hard. It doesn't feel like work. And we get a tremendous amount of value ourselves, both out of the process and out of having that, asset out there in the world. When you create a podcast, every single episode that you publish is an asset out there in the world that people can discover and use to connect with you and learn from you and come to understand your expertise and authority in your field. So if you've thought about it, or maybe you haven't thought about it, but if you're considering it now and you're thinking about starting a podcast, I highly recommend you save yourself the tons of time, money, and energy that would otherwise be wasted trying to figure out how to do it on your own, and come to our Just Hit Record training. The cost for the training is only 147 US dollars. And that includes everything that the training includes. We're going to give you all of our secrets. We're going to tell you exactly how we did it, how you can do it. We're going to tell you about understanding the power of podcasting. I'm just looking at my notes over here. We're going to talk about setting goals, for your particular podcast and what you want to achieve with it. How to plan and create the content. Trust me, it's easier than you think. How to use your podcast to build your personal brand. And we're going to go into the specific softwares, equipment. And you don't need a ton of complicated equipment, by the way, to do this. Checklist, everything you need to know, you're going to get. Okay. And the reason it's called Just Hit Record is because we're designing this training, and Alanna in particular has put a lot of work into it. We're designing this training so that later on in the day, on Thursday or the next day, you can just hit record and have your first episode of your brand new podcast published in a matter of hours. Okay. It really can be that simple when you understand how to do it. So let us give you the secrets. Come to the training. Would love to have you there. This is probably the only time we're going to run this training. Alanna and I both have quite busy schedules, in part due to the success of our podcast, in terms of, traffic and clients and customers and stuff coming in because of that. And, everything else that we do in business, of course. But yeah, so this is probably going to be the only time that we run it. If you invest in the training and for some reason you need to leave early or not able to make it that day, absolutely yes, there will be a replay, there will be a recording. You will get lifetime access to the recording and the replay and any of the resources that are shared with you during the training as well. You'll get lifetime access to those. So again, spaces are limited. Grab your spot quickly. Below this video, you're going to see a link to register, as well as a little bit more information about what's included in the training. And that's it. So hope to see you there. Have a great rest of your day. And if you have questions, by all means, shoot me a message or shoot Alanna a message. Happy to chat with you. That's going to be it for this video, and I'll see you at the training. Thanks, everyone.